Welcome to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show on GameDay, live on theday.com from Standish Gymnasium at Ledyard High School, where the Colonels, 14-2, host the 10-4 Hartford Public Owls. And hello, everyone. I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill, and this game has been moved up now twice today to a much earlier start due to this impending snow, which is actually already falling. So we're really scrambling here, but one thing we know, Casey, this is going to be well worth it for anyone who's made the time in their schedule to watch this one.
Absolutely. This is going to be an example of two teams with similar styles. They both love to run. They both like to get up and down the floor. So the weather outside might be frightful, but in here we are cozy and we are prepared to see a heck of a basketball game.
Absolutely. And for more on tonight's matchup, let's go down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Dave Edgecombe. Dave?
Coaches beforehand in terms of getting prepared for a game whose game time keeps changing. Coach Cornish says his guys are rearing to go. They were itching to play last night. Of course, they were snowed out against Montville. He said it's a little weird with it being light out, but it seals a little bit by practice. I'm sure once the game kicks up, that'll fade away. For Hartford Public, Coach Reese said much of the same thing. He attributed all the game-changing times that at Hartford Public, something's always changing. His guys are rearing to go. Expect a track meet tonight, guys. See ya.
All right, thank you, Dave. And certainly a track meet is in store. But there's one guy that Hartford Public's very worried about, and he's our first player to watch, Ledyard big man Darnay Gray.
Darnay Gray is one of the premier players in the state of Connecticut, and he has the ability, just listen to assistant coach Troy McKelvin, he'll tell you, he can be anything he wants to be. His size is intimidating, he can absolutely muscle people underneath, and he is going to be the number one concern for Hartford Public tonight.
And the Owls are a very talented squad. Their player to watch is a guy who can do it all in Richard Jernigan.
Yeah, Jernigan, the thing about him is he does it on all ends. He's not necessarily a flashy player, but he plays defense. He brings the ball up. He can shoot it a little bit. He does all the little things that you need. He's the kind of glue that really holds this Hartford Public team together. They play a little bit frenetic sometimes, and Jernigan's the stability.
Well, moving over to Ledyard for the moment. Ledyard's Phillip and River Thomas say that being twins gives them a special connection on the court, but also makes them more competitive with each other.
We started organized basketball when we were 5, and we've been playing together ever since. We both used to score a lot, but as the years progressed, I used to give him the ball more.
And when we were really young, when we first started, because I've always been taller than everybody, I used to play center and he used to play point guard. So it was definitely a different outlook than him passing it to the wing to me and him passing it down low to me.
River brings to my game. He knows when I want the ball, and he knows where to put the ball at, and he always looks out for me on the basketball court. He always helps me to guard that next player. I don't have to worry about showing up on the pick and roll because I know that he's going to be there. And believe it or not, he rebounds a lot. We're not that big this year, so for a 5'8" guy to get a lot of rebounds, that helps me a lot too. River brings the defense side of us, and Phil, brings the offense side of us. Whenever he gets the ball, he knows that we're gonna score. So I kind of go to the basket, trying to get the rebound or something.
Being twins and playing the same sport, you kind of have a feel for each other on the court or the field, wherever you play on. And I think it's easier growing up with another person to be there to help you with your shot or with your handle or whatever you need to work on.
Definitely makes it more of a competition between you, I had more points this night or I had more assists this night. It challenges you. I think it kind of makes you better.
I'm more of a physical player, defense and distributing the ball and everything besides scoring, and he's a scorer.
Well, it must be really special, not only to play on the same team, same starting lineup with your brother, but twin brother.
Yeah, I've heard all the time about twins and how they do share that special bond. Sometimes it's almost, they emotionally know what's going on with the other one. So imagine on a night like today or a day like today when you're playing a big basketball game and you're sharing it with somebody who also shares that sort of emotional bond with you. It's got to be something special.
Colonels will be counting very much on the Thomas twins this afternoon. Much more to come on the Sussman Shapiro pregame show. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit about Kurt Reese's Hartford Public Owls. This is GameDay, live on theday.com.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Thank you for putting MJ Sullivan Hyundai in the top 15 in the country. We've just been notified that we have won the Hyundai President's Award. We rank in the top 15 dealers nationwide for customer satisfaction, and we're the only dealer in Connecticut to win this award. Consider this: a good deal is not price alone, but it's the service you receive during and after the sale. And that's been the driving force of MJ Sullivan's for nearly 30 years. So come to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com, and I personally guarantee you'll be satisfied.
Welcome back to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show on GameDay, live on theday.com. Hartford Public visiting Ledyard in high school boys basketball. With an abundance of young ball handlers on his team, Hartford Public coach Kurt Reese uses an unconventional lineup with 4 and sometimes 5 guards on the floor at once.
We have a lot of young guys and they happen to be guards, so we just try to use our young guard skills to just get a fast pace offense and defense.
I mean, whoever's got the ball, just let's go. You know, and everybody, I think, MO is to kind of slow us down. But we want to go. We want to get up and down and shoot and take it to the basket and have fun.
A lot of fun. Sometimes you slow down and try to run the plays, but when the tempo's gone, it's just big, a lot of fun.
This year has been kind of, we got a lot of new pieces, so I think everybody's still feeling themselves out. You know, Mike White's been playing well lately on the glass.
I don't know, you're thinking about having to get every rebound and trying to, or tip the ball out to him, have him run and go get it.
Jernigan's kind of a kid who kind of does it all and fits wherever you put him.
And previously I played point guard. I ain't really played it big.
Because of the positions he can play the 5 and go against a bigger kid who will be slower.
It's a few games we played, I've defended 6'5" and taller, but it's nothing really, no difference.
He's kind of our guy who, he's going to take, we're going to go as far as he takes us. And if he plays well, we play well.
Well, that's going to do it for the Sussman Shapiro pregame show. When we come back, starting lineups in the opening tip, Hartford Public versus Ledyard boys high school basketball on GameDay, live on theday.com.
The future is now.
I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom.
This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable.
I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
The following is a presentation of The Day.
Looks for Gray, gives inside to Giles, who scores. Gray wheels inside, muscles away for another rebound and scores. Just unstoppable. Now Whipple has the basketball on top. They're trying to double team him. Ball is stolen. Here comes Orr in the lane. And he scores. Long three-pointer is good by Avon, Brown, and Weir. Scoreboard's got it wrong. There's a steal at midcourt. Moore lays it in, and the Owls have the 2-point lead. 5.4 seconds, they trail by 1. Reels with the ball, looks inside, gives it to Gill. Gill inside, and no good. To Gray, no good. Rebound taken by Jernigan, and that's your ball game. Oh, the Colonels had 2 good opportunities.
This is Game Day Live on theday.com, and welcome to Standish Gymnasium at Ledyard High School, where the 14-2 Colonels host the 10-4 Hartford Public Owls. And hello, everyone. I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill in this very tough inter-conference matchup, CCC versus ECC. And for Ledyard, maybe a little bit more feels like it's riding on the line. Something to prove after what happened here a year ago, where they blew a big fourth-quarter lead in losing to the Owls.
Yeah, but they've got some things going for them this year that didn't exist last year. Of course, point guard Deontay Bruton is one of them. He's going to handle pressures, which is something that they didn't have last year. They're a year older, a year wiser in the Dave Cornish system. And this year, they've played some tight games. Last year, they hadn't. That was their first test. They came up short. This year, they've faced some tough games. They've played a lot of big games out of conference, so this is not going to be something new for them.
And we'll see how they do. Let's now go to our keys to the game, presented by Geico. We'll start for Hartford Public.
Well, for them, it comes down to one thing. They've got to contain Darnay Gray. He can be such an inside presence, and he can really disrupt things. They don't have a lot of size. They like playing that small lineup of guards. Can they contain Gray? Also, they're going to try to beat Ledyard at their own game. You know, they're not afraid of the press. They're not afraid of the quickness of Ledyard. They want this to be a track meet. They want to get out and run. But with that comes rebounding. Where is that rebounding going to come from? If Gray dominates early, Hartford Public's in trouble.
And for Ledyard, their keys.
Well, it's sort of the reverse. They got to keep Gray out of foul trouble. They got to keep him on the floor, because when he's in the game, they're an entirely different team. He commits a lot of silly fouls. They got to stop that. They got to get it to him inside. They got to get him active early in a positive way, not in a negative way. And then they have to handle Hartford Public's pressure, because Hartford Public is going to throw more guards at them than they've seen at any time this year. And that's something that's going to be very interesting. Who handles whose pressure?
It will be a very high-tempo game, and we're looking forward to it. Now let's get to the starting lineups, brought to you by Philomena's Restaurant. We'll start with Hartford Public, and we've mentioned Richard Jernigan. This is obviously a guy who does a whole lot of things. One change to the starting lineup, though. Ellis Reed will not be in it. Instead, it will be Jordan Alexander. So the Owls, we've heard sometimes they're going to play 4, even 5 guards.
And you see it right off the start. Ellis Reed, 6'6", is one of their big men. They're going to try to get off early without needing him. Getting him off the bench gets them some size coming off of that way. So that is an important change.
So that was the Owls. Now let's go for the Colonels. So their starting lineup, pretty stable, versatile, strong, fast. They got it all.
They do. And, of course, the Thomas brothers, as we saw earlier, anchor that lineup. But the big key today for Ledyard is Kyrie Childs. Kyrie Childs did not play in their first 2 losses of the season. Their only 2 losses of the season versus Glastonbury and Xavier. They have not lost with Kyrie Childs in the starting lineup. So that's the big key for them tonight. And as before mentioned, Deontay Bruton is going to bring some stability to the point guard position, something that they lacked a little bit last year.
All right, the crowd's meeting our starting lineups as well. Our officials tonight are Greg Keith, Tony Nacito, and Bill Bono. Ledyard team fired up. Remember, this was supposed to be a 7 p.m. start. Moved back yesterday to 3 ahead of the impending storm. The storm moving more quickly, so too did the athletic departments and the schools. We're getting this one underway just around 1:30 p.m. Everybody's here, and we're ready to go, getting ready for the national anthem to be sung by Ledyard High School's Julia Eklord.
Tonight's anthem is being sung by Ledyard High School student Julia Eklord.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Julia. Well done.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sussman Shapiro Law Firm, the largest law firm in Eastern Connecticut, and Norwich Free Academy, the choice of students in southeastern Connecticut. And we're glad you're making us your choice for live streaming high school basketball here on Game Day Live on theday.com. Mark around along with Casey Neal and David Edgecombe, who will be reporting from the sidelines. Maybe a few less spectators so far today because of the change in time coming much earlier, but I'm sure whoever's here is going to enjoy an incredible high school basketball game. The Hartford Public Owls, their record not as impressive maybe perhaps as Ledyard's, but they do play in that behemoth of a conference, the CCC, which is really a 32-team conference into 4 different divisions in the center part of the state, which produced some tremendous high school basketball teams.
And we saw last night throw records out the window sometimes. They don't always necessarily tell the story. I think for Hartford Public, what it tells you is that they play a tough opponent every single night. Ledyard is trying to do that by scheduling all those out-of-conference opponents, the Glastonburys, the Xaviers, Capital Prep, Bishop Hendricken. Ledyard has had to go search them out. Hartford Public gets them in conference.
Kyrie Childs will jump it up for Ledyard, wearing their home whites. Hartford Public in what we're told is an alternate uniform, all black with the white trim. It's Richard Jernigan to jump it up for them. And the tip is controlled by the Owls.
Ledyard's going to come out man-to-man.
Siobhan Grant handling the basketball, guarded by Bruton. This is Jernigan, wastes no time, and the lefty strokes the jumper from on top.
Good start for Jernigan, getting involved early.
Averages 10 points a game, but stuffs the stat sheet in every other manner as well. This is Deontay Bruton, an explosive scorer from the point guard when he wants to be. There's the entry into Gray. This is what Hartford was worried about, and Gray opens up with a hoop down low.
The officials telling us that Jernigan's basket was a 3-point basket. Okay. And down there for Darnay Gray, Michael White did his best that time. He had good position, he's got good size, and Gray just bowled him right over to the basket.
Ledyard showing full court pressure immediately. Here's Jernigan, no-look pass. Well done. And an easy hoop down the other end. Michael White powers it in.
Yeah, no problems with the pressure that time. Nice look by Jernigan on the long pass.
Deontay Bruton gets to the rim but can't finish.
He's going to have to finish those if they're going to be competitive in this one. He's going to get to the basket a lot.
Jernigan has it again. Now out to Siobhan Grant, 5'11" junior. Going on Bruton. And an offensive foul. They'll get Siobhan Grant with the off arm. Clearing out.
Referee Greg Keith saying that the elbow got up a little too high. Greg Keith, by the way, who looks like he could still play in this game right now.
Got to be 6'11", right?
He's a big man. He palmed the basketball when they handed it to him before the jump ball.
River Thomas, the facilitator out front. Now he's going to take it to the hole and lays it in.
Right now the two teams adjusting to each other's quickness.
Jernigan in the middle of the floor. No look pass. That was a thing of beauty. Puts it home is Shaquem James. You know, Richard Jernigan just watching a couple possessions here. Boy, what a feel. He sees the whole floor.
Yeah, great vision. He has made long passes and really hit the right man. He has been dissecting that zone. But more for Ledyard is it's a lazy foul. Ledyard's got to be careful. They get a lot of lazy fouls, and they can't have that. They don't have enough size to be going to the bench early.
And James completes the three-point play. 8-4 Hartford Public early. Bruton drives and dishes. Reverse won't go. Philip Thomas had 2 cracks at it and couldn't finish. Jernigan in the middle of the floor again. Wants the pull-up. Kyrie Childs the rebound. He's looking to run. Gray up ahead of the field. Puts it in.
Darnay Gray's a great athlete, running the floor this time as a big man.
Michael Smith has it simply taken away by Philip Thomas. 2-on-2. Thomas going all the way and draws the foul on the Owls. Jordan Alexander, his first.
Thomas that time showing his ball handling skills for a bigger man. Right now, both teams are really just struggling with figuring out the quickness of the other team. You can see Ledyard has not had its press broken this easily yet, and they're going to have to adjust to that. And on the other side, the size of Ledyard is causing a problem for Hartford Public.
First free throw good for Philip Thomas. Averages 13 points and 6 rebounds a game. Good free throw shooter, too, at 76%. And he's got them both. And we're back even at 8.
Ledyard switching up the pressure now, going to more of a man-to-man set.
And Alexander couldn't finish inside. Right back the other way. Creative passing on the break here. Philip Thomas, though, ends up tracking it down. Here is brother River Thomas. Tries to scoop it home and draws the whistle. That's going to go against Shaquem James.
Ledyard got a little bit pass happy there on the other side. Someone needed to go up and take the shot, but the result works out well, and that's 3 early fouls on Hartford Public.
So River Thomas at the free throw line. Doesn't get to the line very often, just his 14th free throw attempt of the season.
Both of these coaching staffs are very, very adept at kind of working the officials, and we saw Coach Reese working Greg Keith, saying, come on, let's let them play a little bit.
Here's Jernigan, comfortable handling anywhere on the floor. Siobhan Grant now back on top for James. Near side, it's Jernigan, matched up on Kyrie Childs. Coach Jernigan wants it in the post.
You said that Coach Reese said that they would run a lot of offensive sets. They wouldn't always just run, and right now they are stuck in one.
Grant misses. Gray the rebound. Deontay Bruton attacking again. In transition. Oh, what a pick that time from River Thomas. And then threw it away trying to find Darnay Gray.
Little too much that time. Thomas would have been better off either pulling up or looking to his right. He had a wingman on the right side as well, but he wanted to find Gray, who they're still trying to get involved. He does provide that size differential that Ledyard's looking for.
Jernigan, the inbound, he goes long. This is James. And he draws the whistle. It'll be River Thomas picking up his first foul.
Coach Cornish not happy with that foul right there. Says, get your hands up. Just get your hands up. Don't reach.
Shaquem James to the line, shooting 2.
So this will send Shaquem James to the line. He averages 13 points a game. First free throw is good for James. And we're 9 apiece. 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And the first substitute getting ready to come into the game for the Hartford Public Owls. It'll be James if he makes it. He does. You should miss it so you get to stay in, right?
Well, these team player that these kids are. They know. Jawan Braddock checking into the ball game, as you said, for Hartford Public. And now the little pressure from the Owls.
Thomas came forward to be the outlet for it. Phillip, that is, getting down low, now bringing it back out. 1 point Owls lead. Bruton speeding along the baseline. That one was blocked by Braddock, who's just checked in. Bruton will try the 3. Darnay Gray up high for the rebound. Gathers, hits, plus the foul.
When Bruton pulled up for that 3, he had Gray wide open underneath the basket. So Gray decided he wanted to get the ball, and he just went and got it. And he just overpowers everybody. He is really, we have not seen anybody able to do anything with his size.
In the game for Hartford Public, number 15, Shaquem James.
Second foul on Jordan Alexander. Trapping over on the far side. Trouble for Grant, but he finds James in the corner, who's trapped again. Great pressure from the Colonels here. The ball was tipped, so no backcourt violation. Here's Grant on the breakdown. Jernigan for three. Pull the string on that. Gray is released long. Thomas finds him. Oh, Gray can't finish.
Both teams really trying to get to the basket. This game getting very, very physical.
That's Kyrie Childs looking for the steal, but he's whistled for his first foul.
The officials started to let these guys go up and down the floor a little bit. Both teams very handsy, a lot of reaching, a lot of stripping of the basketball, and always trying to get to the basket. We have not seen a jump shot outside of Bruton's three and Jernigan's three. Everybody's trying to get to the basket.
Grant will fire. Hits the three.
See, that wasn't so hard. Right on cue. Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Grant's first basket of the game. Bruton wants a three. And he answers. And Ledyard's back on top by two.
Interestingly, Jernigan was playing Gray that time defensively. Coach Reese said that Jernigan would often play forwards. Well, he's playing Darnay Gray.
Deep three won't go for James. High for the rebound is Bruton. Speeding the other way. 4 on 3.
Oh, what a look.
Thomas lays it in. Phillip, that is.
Great look from Bruton that time, threading the needle to Thomas.
Jernigan, again a no-look pass. This is James, the drive. Puts it home.
Tempo is starting to pick up.
Juwan Braddock for the Owls.
Gray powers it up inside. What a force for him so far. 8 points for Ledyard and a 4-point lead for the Colonels. Jernigan, bounce pass inside. Well, I love the way this kid plays. What a feel for the game.
Heads up, gave an up fake, found the layup.
That was Braddock on the basket. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first. Kyrie Childs from the elbow. Battle for the rebound. And it's going to be a foul on Ledyard.
That's going to be his second. That's on Childs.
Ledyard foul number
Kyrie Childs picking up now 2 fouls, so that's something to look at. He's not coming out of the game at the moment. River Thomas instead is.
Dom Benson in the ball game for Ledyard. We saw him earlier this year put on quite a show against Woodstock. And on the other side, big Ellis Reed, the 6'6 junior, in the game for Hartford Public.
So the Colonels will have to go for a bit without their best defensive player as Kyrie Childs sits. Oh wait, he's staying in, no. And there is Bruton off the long rebound, weaving his way through. Oh, well defended by Braddock. He's made an impact since coming in. 2 hoops and a block. Here's a steal back from Phil Thomas. Tripped on the way in, but instead will be whistled for the offensive foul as he runs over Jernigan.
You know, I got to tell you, I love the way Richard Jernigan plays basketball. I can see why Coach Reese, raved about him doing a little bit of everything. We've seen him break pressure, shoot threes, take a charge. He's done a little bit of everything.
Getting our first look at Fardy Racine, number 31 for Ledyard. As Dave Cornish has gone a little further down the bench than we're used to seeing.
Smallest Ledyard lineup right now that you're going to see for them. Gray being the only size.
Jernigan draws Gray. Shaquem James hits the 3, and the Owls are back on top.
Not the prettiest of shots, but James can fill it up.
Bruton hasn't had a lot of success getting to the basket, which is strange. Normally, he just tears them up.
Yeah, he's been getting to the basket, but he has not been able to finish at all.
In the game for the Colonels, number 10, Andrew Bird.
And a foul as Dom Benson will get to the free throw line.
Hartford Public foul.
Made a mistake in the identification. Number 31 today for Ledyard, Eric Young.
Benson to the line, shooting 2.
Coming in the first quarter. And Benson misses the free throw.
For Hartford Public, number 10, Shelon Grant.
Only a 50% free throw shooter. A little surprising because he does have an excellent stroke. Could shoot the three as well. And he missed again. So still a 1-point Hartford Public lead. Darnay Gray, though, ripping it away and puts it in. He's got 10 first quarter points.
Yeah, this is the Darnay Gray that Coach Troy McKelvin and Coach Dave Cornish said is the emerging player in the state of Connecticut, the one that is just unstoppable down low, and we can see why he is a beast. Can be as good as he wants to be.
Ellis Reed, number 23, into the game for the Owls. Screen for Jernigan. And then right off the bench, Scavone Walsh hits a three.
Hartford Public shooting it well from the outside here now.
No team is led by more than 4 in this one. Been a back and forth and very exciting affair. This is Dom Benson. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Eric Young has it. And he'll fire from well beyond the arc. And it bounces away. So that's going to do it for the first quarter of play at Standish Gymnasium, where the Hartford Public Owls have come to Ledyard and lead the Colonels 23-21 heading into the second quarter. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Preparing elementary and high school students for lifelong success calls for a commitment to excellence. Welcome to New London Public Schools, the only public school district in Connecticut designated as a magnet district, specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math, along with performing and visual arts. Our magnet curriculum creates enhanced learning experiences for all students. Develop your child's inner talents. For admission to a New London Magnet School, apply online today at newlondon.org.
Welcome back to Game Day live on theday.com. 1 quarter in the books, and it has been just as exciting and an up-tempo affair as we thought. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill and Dave Edgecombe, who's on the sidelines today for our Hartford Public versus Ledyard high school basketball matchup. The CCC meeting the ECC. Let's go down to Dave. Dave?
Guys, I don't know about you, but I am out of breath. Most of what we expected in the first quarter, an absolute track meet. The one X factor that Coach Reese hit on when we talked before the game, Darnay Gray down low. He said if he has a good game,
second quarter
they'll get
underway.
eaten up.
A 2-point lead for Ledyard. River Thomas making not the best of drives, but somehow Ledyard keeps the ball. Darnay Gray bodied up inside against Jernigan. Jernigan giving up some height and some weight in that matchup, will pick up his first foul.
And you see Coach Reese going right to the bench for his biggest player, big 55, Stephon Freeman Johnson. That is going to be 2 large human beings doing some battling down low right now.
Gray is the leading scorer in the game. He had 11 first quarter points. Shaquem James has 7 for Hartford Public. And the turnover off the inbound. Siobhan Grant, back to Jernigan. Dom Benson will take a turn guarding Richard Jernigan.
Look for Jernigan to try to use his size.
He's hit a 3 to open the game, but that's his only basket. Now we'll shoot over 2 defenders. Bruton the rebound. Crossing over, gets to the middle. Finally gets all the way to the hole, but can't finish.
Very frustrating right now for Deontay Bruton.
Siobhan Grant, Cavoni Walsh, no basket. Eric Young stepped in to draw the offensive foul.
Tough play by Young that time, stepping in, taking the charge, knowing he was going to get hit hard.
2 fouls now on Siobhan Grant. And Hartford is back in a half-court defense. No pressure from them at this point.
Ledyard in the bonus now. Next foul will be 1-1.
Young misses the 3. Gray kept it alive. Benson has it. Good work on the offensive glass. Bruton can't hit the 3. And it'll be a Ledyard foul as a rebound ripped down by Stephon Johnson.
Yeah, they're going to get Eric Young that time, reaching in on Johnson, who went up hard for the rebound. Young outsized to try to strip the basketball, but Made some contact. Both teams now heading into the bonus. The Colonels are already there, and the next foul will be putting Hartford Public there as well.
Siobhan Grant with the basketball. Bruton on him. Johnson sets the screen.
Ledyard content in the man-to-man.
They're up tight on Jernigan. Rubs his man off the screen. Now has Gray, but gives it up to Graddick.
Extending out on the shooters.
Very deliberate possession this time for the Owls. 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Trying to settle things down a little bit, I think.
Got the 2-point lead. Now the deep three from the wing. Won't go for Grant. Kept alive by Jernigan. Graddick the drive. And he'll get 2 free throws.
Those long rebounds are up for grabs. Those are anybody's. Those are tests of will, right? Those are the hard workers, the guys that want it the most. And Jernigan is the first person to the ball almost every single time. We see a loose ball, you're pretty sure Jernigan's there.
Graddick's got the first free throw.
In the game for Hartford Public, number 32, Michael White.
Gravoni Walls checks out, and back in is Michael White, 6'2" junior. So 2 free throws good for Jawan Graddick, 5'9" sophomore.
A little extended pressure now from the Owls, something we haven't seen yet in a zone.
Kind of a 1-2-2 or 3-2 look with Jernigan out on the top of that.
Haven't seen this yet.
This is the mixing up that Kurt Reese said he likes to do. And we got a travel on Bruton. So Deontay Bruton has hit a 3. He's tried to get to the basket, which he's so effective at, but he has not finished the way that we're used to seeing.
No, this has not been his best game so far. He's really struggled in and around the basket and made some uncharacteristic mistakes with the basketball. But he's a pretty unflappable kid, so I would expect him to continue to make that put that pressure.
He's guarding the ball right now, Siobhan Grant. Johnson releases on top. Now it's Graddick. Johnson's going to let that one fly. Good-looking jumper from the big man.
For the Owls.
And the Owls are going to use a timeout here. 4:56 to go in the first half, and it's the largest lead of the game for either team at 27-21, Hartford Public.
And quietly, though, Hartford Public on a 12-2 run right now. That's where they've gotten that 6-point lead. They've run off a nice 12-2 run, and it's really been keyed by a patient half-court offense and the ability to knock down open jump shots. We've seen a couple of threes on the perimeter, and then Stephon Freeman-Johnson stepping out and hitting a 15-footer. And I think Ledyard's got to think to themselves, if he's going to go out and hit those 15-footers, I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Well, interesting that Kurt Reese making a basket, getting their first biggest lead of the game at 6, and then he calls the timeout. So he's really managing this game quite closely.
One of the things he talked about to you in the pregame was that, he really wasn't concerned about his guards. He wasn't concerned about the pressure. That he was concerned about Darnay Gray and their ability to dominate inside. So far, it's been true to form. Darnay Gray has dominated inside, but his guards have maintained their effort and have really made pressure a non-factor for Ledyard so far.
Certainly have. Bruton on top. This is Eric Young. Way beyond the arc. Missing that 3. Michael White the rebound.
Extended absence from Kyrie Childs. We haven't seen him in the game in a while.
Picked up the 2 early fouls, still sitting. They didn't take him out immediately, but a couple possessions later they did after picking up the 2 in the first quarter. Jernigan in a post-up. He's got a big size advantage on Bird. Goes to the turnaround. Scramble for the loose ball. 3-on-1, Darnay Gray. And a blocking foul on Jawan Graddick.
Coach McKelvin screaming at him, make the layup. A rare opportunity. Gray, who, like most big men, fancies himself a ball handler, was out leading a break that time Make the layup, though. Make it a three-point play. You know, like we said, all outfielders want to play shortstop, and all point guards want to play inside, and all big guys like Gray want to lead the break.
First free throw is no good, a 61% shooter.
We are seeing both sides of the Darnay Gray coin. He can be as good as anybody, but small little lapses here and there are the only thing separating him from really being a premier player in this state.
12 points, leading scorer in the game. Graddick drives in. Yes, off the window, and a foul. It looks like it'll be Dante Gray.
Yeah, they're going to get Gray with a reach, which not a good foul at all. I'm not sure what he really did. He got his hands up, but a little bit of contact, and the Owls with a chance to extend this to their biggest lead.
Well, number 3 key to the game for Ledyard. Keep Gray out of foul trouble. So far, so good. That's just his first. 3:50 to go in the first half.
Owls with some pressure we haven't seen.
Young driving inside. Missed wildly, but drew the foul. They'll get Stephon Johnson, the 6'3 junior. But the 6'3 only tells part of the story. As you can see, the strength on that frame.
Young certainly not lacking confidence, doing a lot of different things. Shooting, getting to the basket, and knocking down a foul shot.
Andrew Bird crashing the offensive boards. And he's going to save a possession here.
Into the game for the Colonels.
Smallest player on the floor. Now, Ben Gill checking in, replacing Eric Young for Ledyard as he'll inbound underneath.
Ledyard getting a little more size into the game.
Right away, Gill left it open off the inbound play. That is Jawan Graddick high for the rebound. He leads Hartford Public with 9 points, and he's done it off the bench. Almost lost the ball. And then Dom Benson in the passing lane. And finishes on the other end.
Ledyard trying to pressure, make this thing sloppy again, get into those passing lanes.
Jernigan along the baseline. He hasn't been able to buy a bucket since the opening basket of the game. Now a foul on Ledyard.
Tie-up on the floor.
Oh, nope, it's a tie-up, so possession arrow favors Hartford Public. They'll inbound underneath.
Great strength from Michael White that time of the Owls, because he grabbed onto the ball, and Darnay Gray usually is like a great white shark. You know, he doesn't let go of that thing, and he tied him up.
Jernigan at the high post. Siobhan Grant. Stephon Johnson, the offensive rebound.
Big body.
Here's Jernigan leaning in, and he gets the roll. He earned that one. A chance for a three-point play. The foul will go on Ledyard's Andrew Bird. That's just a tough assignment for Bird. He's got 2 fouls now. He's given up size, weight, strength to Jernigan.
Yeah, Jernigan is a really impossible guy to defend. We've seen him comfortable shooting the ball from the three-point line, getting to the basket. He's got the wide body, plays very calm. He plays at a very even pace. He's very, very difficult to guard.
It'll show you the confidence that Dave Cornish has in the defensive ability of Bird. He calls him a real hustle guy and a very good defender. That's just a tough matchup. He's got 2 fouls now on the bench. Benson drives in, missed with a left. Gray puts it back.
They have no answer for Darnay Gray.
14 for Gray. And the lead up to 6.
Stephon Freeman Johnson was doing a great job, but out of the game, it's just Gray. No one else can defend him.
Siobhan Grant's second hoop of the game, and the Owls showing a little three-quarter court pressure here. And getting the tip, Jernigan. No-look pass. Graddick with the finish.
Timeout from Dave Cornish. Ben Gill that time did the classic mistake against pressure. Tried to throw it across the court in the air. Too many hands in the vicinity.
This is now the largest lead of the game. The Owls have pushed it up to 10 as that big run continues.
Right now, Ledyard finding itself as the victims of pressure, something that they like to do against other teams. Hartford Public, so many guards, so many people that can shift and do different assignments. And Ken Reese has really managed the game, like you said. For a while, he combated Darnay Gray with Stephon Freeman Johnson. He put Ellis Reed into the ball game for a little bit. He's really mixing and matching pieces, doing his best to minimize Gray while not letting Ledyard's pressure affect him. And really, Ledyard is a completely different team without Kyrie Childs in the game. Those 2 fouls, we have not seen him since, and that's when that 10-point lead has gotten opened up.
And you would think at this point, he's gone to 2:22 to go in the first half with Childs on the bench. It would appear now that Dave Cornish had already decided that he'll sit the rest of the first half. All right, now Ledyard hoping that it doesn't continue to hurt him, but it does there. Here's Jernigan spinning in the open court. Great hustle by River Thomas to break that up and throw it out of bounds off of an owl.
But Jernigan that time, Hartford Public that time, went to an extended zone and they put some pressure on the ball, and Jernigan got his hands on it.
Benson at the high post. Beautiful delivery for Darnay Gray.
Great offensive set. That's how you carve up a zone right there. Get it to the high post, and then Benson find the cutter.
Oof, that was nice. 16 now for Darnay Gray, who's dominating, but it's not showing on the scoreboard as the Owls still have the 8-point advantage. 1:35 to go in the first half.
Yeah, no other offense from anywhere else right now for the Colonels. Oh, a great strip.
River Thomas, trouble with the handle after the strip. They've still got the basketball, and Thomas can't hit. Oh, what a tough, wasted possession there. Jernigan leaves it for Graddick on the layup.
Coach Cornish not happy. Ledyard not getting back on defense that time.
Back to a 10-point lead. Bruton strokes the three. They'll need that more.
Somebody other than Gray has to find some offense. Is it going to be Deontay Bruton?
His only 2 baskets have come from beyond the arc. Grant inside for White.
Michael White for the Owls.
Right now, Ledyard not having any answers on the defensive end.
40 seconds to go in the first half. Ledyard with the basketball, trailing by 9. They've been down by 10 on a couple of occasions. Playing the entire second quarter without Kyrie Childs. Bruton misses a 3 from the far wing. And with 20 seconds to go in the first half, looks like Kurt Reese wants one shot. Why not? A 9-point lead.
Ledyard man-to-man.
Graddick handling. Now to Siobhan Grant. Bruton guarding him. 5 seconds to go. Grant in the lane, hangs. Can't hit. Rebound though to White. Almost went in. Then the tip back from Walsh had a chance. But none of them will go. But it's been all good news for the Hartford Public Owls. They've traveled to Ledyard and put up a very nice showing in the first half with a 41-32 lead over Ledyard. Coach Kurt Reese of the Owls is standing by with our Dave Edgecombe. Dave?
Coach, defensively you gave him a lot of different looks. What was the most effective, you thought?
Maybe the 3-2. 3-2 kind of slowed the game down, gave us the lead, but they're still killing us on the backboard.
And like you said, Darnay Gray is giving you all kinds of problems. What do you got to do differently in the second half?
If we can get 35 and we hold everybody else to single digits, we'll be fine.
Coach, have a good day. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Dave. Yeah, that's some great insight there from Coach. It was that 3-2 that really stabilized things for him. And I guess he's ready to let Darnay Gray have what he wants as long as the Owls get the win.
Yeah, right now he hit it on the head. Until someone else steps up and starts scoring some points, let Darnay Gray feast because, like he said, score all you want. We still have the lead.
It's all working for the Owls. They've got the 41-32 lead at halftime. We'll take a break here live on Game Day, live at theday.com. When we come back, it'll be the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford. Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that the one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed, but at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
Welcome to the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report. Game Day live on theday.com. It's halftime at Ledyard High School where the Colonels trail the Hartford Public Owls 41-32. Ledyard senior Darnay Gray is one of the best players in the ECC, but assistant coach Troy McKelvin is constantly pushing him to be better.
I'm going to just play how I play, use my body and use my strength, I get the ball and go up strong. Never been intimidated by anybody. Basketball was just like a fit for me. What drives me on the court will probably be just to win a state championship will feel great, Being so close for the past 2 years and not getting that state championship, I think that drives me, and it pushes me to work harder.
He got unbelievable skills, even though he doesn't use them all. He can shoot, he can dribble. He prefers to go power all the time. We're trying to get him to do other things because he can do it. But he's the most dominant player in this area by far.
I like to just use my body, and my strength. Lots of people don't think that I can shoot or dribble, but I also can do that too.
When you're one of the better players, you have high expectations. And we have very high expectations for Darnay. To score, to rebound, we think he could be more of a leader. I think he can play way harder than he plays. The touch that he has on the ball is incredible. But he just doesn't go hard all the time. And it's frustrating as a coach. I kind of took him under my wing to try to motivate him. I'm his biggest fan, but yes, I can be his toughest critic as well. I told coach to take you out of the food. He didn't deep. Guess what he told me? I want Darnay to eat. And then you got to come down the middle, and this is what you do. It looks bad. All you can do is step up. They're going to bounce off you, man. Come on, D, man. Man, it looks bad if college recruiters are in here looking at you. It don't look good.
I believe that Coach Short made me a better player in the past 2 years. Coach Short's always told me to work hard, and practice, always bring that swagger. I will never forget that, and I will never forget him, pushing me for the last 3 years, I don't know. I'll definitely look back at him, and he helped me a lot. I appreciate Coach Short for that.
I think he's finally starting to get to a point where he believes in us. He trusts what we say. He knows that if he does the things that we ask him to do, that he'll be successful. And that if he does other things, that's when he usually doesn't. I think we kind of got to a point where we kind of trust each other now, and it wasn't always like that.
And another great look into the inside story that we're able to give you on Game Day live on theday.com, and also as those features that you can get on the Day website. You know what I liked about that one? I think it's the same thing you liked about it. How refreshing and honest and critical Coach Troy McKelvin can be.
For some people out there, they may not realize, Troy McKelvin knows from what he speaks. This is an 11 varsity letter winner at New London High School. Went on and played basketball at Trinity College, was an exceptional three-sport athlete. So when he comes at you and he tells you things like, you can be great, but you don't work hard enough, that resonated with Darnay Gray. And you can see, Darnay agrees, I don't always work hard enough, but that relationship is going to get the best out of both of them. A great young coach like McKelvin, an opportunity to really take a player under his wing, and a great young player like Gray with an opportunity to make the best kind of player he can be.
And so far today, he has been the best player on the floor for Ledyard. The offensive rebounding, the scoring inside, 16 points. Now he needs the rest of the team to come along.
Yeah, they're a different team with Kyrie Childs not on the floor. And outside of a couple of jump shots from Bruton, they really have not found a way to score other than Gray cleaning up misses or in transition. Their transition scoring is certainly not what they're used to it being, because Hartford Public is not succumbing to the pressure the way many other teams have. You know, it's an interesting thing to think about, but Ledyard lost to Double L Glastonbury. They lost to Double L Xavier. They struggled the other night with Double L Norwich Free Academy, and they're losing right now to Double L Hartford Public. This is a team that is choosing to go up to Double L to play. You know, they're learning that they got to work hard to win in Double L.
Yeah, big test that they're getting tonight, down 41-32 at the hands of Hartford Public. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. The MJ Sullivan halftime show continues in a moment.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in Eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
The future is now.
I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom.
This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable.
I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Preparing elementary and high school students for lifelong success calls for a commitment to excellence. Welcome to New London Public Schools, the only public school district in Connecticut designated as a magnet district, specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math, along with performing and visual arts. Our magnet curriculum creates enhanced learning experiences for all students. Develop your child's inner talents. For admission to a New London Magnet School, apply online today at newlondon.org.
Welcome back to Game Day, live on theday.com. It's Hartford Public leading Ledyard 41-32 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Today's game is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, Eastern Connecticut's automotive leader for over 30 years, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai. And Philomena's Restaurant, proud to be named one of Connecticut's best family restaurants of 2013. So just a few seconds before we start the third quarter, and we heard from Kurt Reese talking to our Dave Edgecombe beforehand. He was worried about Darnay Gray, and for good reason. Okay, Gray is killing them, but they're controlling this basketball game.
Yeah, and I thought what he said in the very beginning about them going to the 3-2 zone, because it slowed the pace of the game down and it allowed them to get some control on the defensive end. That was really key for them. Gray is scoring off of rebounds out of that. But it's really, if that's the only points they're going to give up to Darnay Gray, like he said, we'll live with that.
So Kyrie Childs, who sat out much of that first half with foul trouble, seems also to have a bit of problem on his shooting hand. He's got 2 fingers taped and really is spending an awful lot of time holding that as he gets ready to start in the third quarter. Watch that very closely. Ledyard with the ball, down 9 as we start the third quarter.
Original starting 5 in for Ledyard.
Actually,
Thomas.
He's ripped the tape off now, has Childs. But he came out of the locker room with it taped.
Thomas, Gray, Bruton, and Childs.
Entering into Gray, and it was knocked away by Jernigan. And some frustration from Gray as he comes up the court. Here's Jernigan. Gets into the lane. Contact, no whistle. Gray rips and runs.
Here he comes.
River Thomas, the lay-in. Good start for the Colonels.
Tiny Archibald Gray leading the break that time for the Colonels.
This is Siobhan Grant handling against Deontay Bruton. Grant had 5 first-half points.
Ledyard going man-to-man with Thomas on Jernigan.
So a little change in that matchup. Gives Kyrie Childs a break, having picked up those 2 fouls.
Childs is going to play Graddick, who's more of a shooter, but is a leading scorer for Hartford Public.
13 off the bench for Graddick. Here's Jernigan, out beyond the arc. Another deliberate and patient Hartford Public possession with the 7-point lead. Jernigan.
Size of Thomas bothering him. Always like to see the beginning of the second half, what adjustments the teams have made. So far, it looks like Ledyard is going to play size on Jernigan, and Thomas will be the guy.
Rising up, Jernigan hits from the baseline. Got 8 points. Quickly downfield, Thomas lays it in ahead of the field.
Great job by Bruton with his head up. Got the streaking Thomas, and a difficult layup. Athletic was Thomas above the rim.
6 points for Thomas. Jernigan barreling his way in, sets up Walsh in the corner. That's a 3.
Hartford Public with a lot of shooters.
Bruton, the floater. Kyrie Childs the offensive rebound. Before the shot.
When we saw Ledyard earlier this year against Woodstock, that was the move that Deontay Bruton scored all of his points on.
All night long.
He got to the lane and he went in with that little runner in the lane. We hadn't seen it tonight. He's been going all the way to the basket when he hasn't been able to finish. There, positive results, nice rebound by Childs, but we've seen Bruton going back to the runner.
It's a 10-point lead for Hartford Public. Matches their largest, had it a few times in the second quarter.
Want to get it to Gray.
And Thomas does a nice job poking it away. Ahead of the field now, Shaquem James. It's a 12-point lead. And the turnover. James challenging and scoring again. Timeout, Ledyard. A 14-point deficit now facing the Colonels.
And Ledyard getting out-Ledyarded right now, meaning losing the ball in transition and getting run quicker right now. A little faster are the Hartford Public Owls. Ledyard not used to teams being able to beat him in the track meet.
And they've certainly picked their spots. It hasn't been constant running. It's been really a lot of changes in rhythm. We've seen possessions that have lasted a minute on a couple of occasions, but it seems like they have their opportunity, and then it's off to the races.
A really masterful job tonight of changing up looks and the pace of the game. It's you hear all the time coaches saying they want to control the tempo, but usually that just means I want to go faster, I want to go slow. Hartford Public has done it differently. They've sometimes gone fast, sometimes gone slow, sometimes been deliberate. They've gone man-to-man. They've gone into different kinds of zones. They've done a lot of different things tonight, never letting Ledyard get into its own rhythm, and that's been a real key tonight. A great job from the Owls.
Darnay Gray out of the ball game right now, so Ledyard going smaller. Dom Benson is in, number 2, working the middle on offense.
Running that zone. They need a guy right there like that, River Thomas. That's a quick way to bust up a zone. A lot of length in that Hartford Public zone with Shaquem James up top, and that time they got it into one of the weak spots of the zone, a wing shooter.
Jernigan drives and dishes. It was tipped away. Michael Smith splits the double team, stepping through, looking for Jernigan, taken away by Childs. Chance to run for the Colonels. Bruton left alone for 3. Dom Benson the offensive rebound. Stripped away. River Thomas from the corner.
Got a piece of it that time, did Graddick. Good weak side help from Graddick. An empty possession that time for Ledyard.
Jordan Alexander into the lane. Back out for Shaquem James. Missed the three. Alexander the rebound.
You can see Ledyard not the same rebounding team without Darnay Gray filling up the middle.
Dom Benson on the move. And it goes! Count it! He'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Nice job by Benson, not only getting to the basket, but finishing with a chance to cut into this lead. And Hartford Public's going to go to some substitutions, and we're going to see Jernigan take a seat, which we haven't seen much of.
Also, Jordan Alexander coming out. He just picked up his third foul, as Benson will have a chance for a three-point play. He's cut the Owls' lead to single digits. It's 9 at the moment, and a chance to cut it to 8 at the free throw line. Shaquem James. Trouble with the handle, and he got a double dribble.
The momentum certainly starting to gradually swing over to the Colonels. This is a very big possession. They've cut it to 8. Here's an opportunity then for them to cut it again. And so what do? You get Jernigan right back into the ball game. What a short rest that was, my friend.
Well, not only productive Jernigan, but really a steadying force for this team as well. Here's River Thomas on the pull-up.
They're going to get
a Ledyard foul, yep.
Yeah, Dom Benson over the back of Jernigan. Jernigan had great position. Benson tried to get over the top of him, but Jernigan's too big a body for that.
Ledyard showing full court pressure, and Kurt Reese calling a 30-second timeout for the Owls. Let's go down to Dave Edgecombe. Dave?
Guys, I talked to Dave Cornish at the half. Obviously not happy with his team's first half performance. He said they came out stagnant. They got to get some stops. They got to make some layups and some free throws was really the difference, is that they showed no sense of urgency with Jernigan out of the ball game just now. It looked like the Colonels started to turn it around. Let's see if they can keep it up with Jernigan back in the game. Mark?
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll watch for that. 3:31 to go in the third quarter, as Ledyard has been able to come back a little bit. Hey, they were down by 9 at halftime, 10 on a couple of occasions in the second quarter. Got to 14 here early in the third quarter. But right now, a bit of a momentum swing. We'll see if the Colonels can keep it up.
You know, we saw this last night. New London came in hot, NFA with the worst record. NFA played with a much stronger sense of urgency than New London did. And I think Hartford Public so far has played with a little bit more aggressiveness, and they are playing like the team with something to prove. Ledyard's been on its heels a little bit.
And a travel. Michael White shuffled the feet before he put it down.
Yeah, Ledyard definitely turning up the defensive pressure. Without Darnay Gray in the game, they're not as good a rebounding team, but they've got some more quickness and a little bit more ability to score the basket from the outside.
Phil Thomas drives by Jernigan. Wild reverse, won't go with the left. Cavoni Walsh, a good battle to come up with that loose rebound.
Got to go up strong that time. Thomas didn't recognize he had the size advantage. He goes up strong and he draws a foul.
Shaquem James from the corner. And it's going to be a Ledyard foul. That could be on Kyrie Childs.
That'll be important. Well, instead, they're going to call it on Thomas.
Ledyard foul on number 11, Phil Thomas, his third.
It's third on Philip Thomas, however, so one way or the other, someone was getting their third. We'll see if they leave Thomas in the game or if Dave Cornish goes to his bench. He's going to leave Thomas in.
Jernigan the inbound. White back in the hands of Jernigan. Got a size advantage, wants to back down River Thomas. Help came, so he gave it up. This is Jernigan again, and he traveled.
Well, this Ledyard team on the floor right now is definitely causing Hartford Public some offensive issues, but they haven't been able to score in the reverse.
Bruton. The floater goes this time. That's more like it for Deontay. In transition, Shaquem James throws it away. It was intended for Michael White.
Hartford Public getting a little sloppy right now. This team that's on the floor for Ledyard causing them problems.
Right now an 8-0 run for the Colonels. Looking for more. Got it back within 6.
Look for Bruton to get in the lane again. Oh, instead a great look to Dom Benson.
Well done for Benson. He was signaling for that ball as quietly as he could. finally got it from Bruton. A 10-0 run, and just like that, Ledyard's back within 4.
Let's see what Hartford Public does to stabilize things. Ken Reese has been really good so far at keeping things under control. Let's see what they do. Ledyard extending that man-to-man pressure.
1:50 to go. Childs hounding Siobhan Grant. Grant handling the pressure, though.
Turning up the intensity, Ledyard is man-to-man.
Ooh, dangerous pass there. Benson had a chance to steal it. Now commits the foul out front.
Ledyard foul number 2, Dom Benson, his second.
Second foul on Benson.
That's actually, if there's such a thing as a good foul, Benson's just trying to be intense there. And we're going to see Darnay Gray getting back in the ball game here in a minute. Changes the dynamic for the Colonels.
Jernigan out front. Oh, how did he find Shaquem James on the cut?
Great look. Richard Jernigan always knows where everybody is.
They're going to keep it here. The initial call from the official underneath. Bill Bono has it as Ledyard ball. He'll talk it over with Tony Nacito, and they'll change it. I think that's the right call.
It was a double deflection. The first time it did deflect off of Hartford Public, but then it went off of Benson's hands as well. That was a good job of the officials getting together and getting it right.
Shaquem James, who had that last basket for Hartford Public, now 13 points. That ties him with Juwan Graddick for team high honors at the moment for the Owls. Jernigan storming down the lane, leaves for White, and White powers it home.
Hartford Public not only weathers the storm, but takes a shot back of their own.
Kyrie Childs has still yet to score. Open look for a 3. Rebound cleared away by White.
Not the shot they wanted there, especially with an injured shooting hand.
46 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Owls with the ball and an 8-point lead. Jernigan, no look pass. Graddick hits the deck, no call, but guess who's there? Michael White, but right now Graddick is down and injured under the basket. He landed hard on what appeared to be his hip.
All kinds of stuff going on that play. First of all, Jernigan got away with a double dribble that time. He picked up his dribble, but where he was on the court, he was shaded from the officials. They couldn't see it. And instead, he makes a great pass, and then Darnay Gray has great position. Graddick hits the floor really hard, and the ball ends up right in Hartford Public's hand. And for all that 10-0 run and all of that stuff, here we are again, back to a 10-point lead for Hartford Public.
Well, Jernigan, the more we see of him, he really is one of the best passers you're going to see in high school basketball in Connecticut. There are certainly some other creative guys out there, but he really has a great feel for the game. For wherever he is on the court, he's going to find a cutter.
Yeah, he's hyper aware of where everyone is. Not just his guys, but everyone is.
See what they can do with Darnay Gray. He hasn't scored here in the second half, and the third quarter almost over after 16 in the first half, although admittedly he's been on the bench a bit here in the third as Ledyard's gone smaller. Childs forces up a tough one. Rebound Jernigan.
Yeah, Gray hasn't played a lot in the third quarter and not involved.
10 seconds to go in the third. Siobhan Grant, a tough pull-up, and he's fouled. Dave Cornish cannot like that foul.
And that's going to be the third on Benson.
Number 2, Don Benson, his third. Siobhan Grant to the line.
Boy, fouling jump shooters is definitely a no-no, and with seconds to go in a quarter, even worse.
Opportunity to extend this lead back up again. Back and forth they have gone here in this third quarter.
Well, Grant missing the first of 2. Kyrie Childs is coming out. Philip Thomas back in with the 3 fouls. 8.9 seconds to go in the third quarter. Another chance to push the Hartford Public lead to 11 as Siobhan Grant. Second free throw. Don Benson comes away with it. 5 seconds to go. Stripped away. Quick hands by Siobhan Grant. And it's going to stay here. 3.2 seconds left for the Colonels. A couple substitutions coming in for Hartford Public.
Stephon Johnson into the game.
Graddick and big man Stephon Johnson So the biggest lineup you're going to see for Hartford Public here is Ellis Reed at 6'6", also in there.
Yeah, they don't want to give up anything cheap underneath. They're going to make this come from the outside.
Gray coming to the ball. It'll be Phil Thomas. Ball may have been deflected on the tough 3 ball from the corner, but we've come to the end of the third quarter. And Ledyard is right back pretty much where they were at halftime. One worse, in fact. 56-46, visiting Hartford Public will take a 10-point advantage over Ledyard into the fourth quarter. We'll have that for you in a moment. You're watching Game Day, live on theday.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
Welcome back to Game Day, live on theday.com. Hartford Public Owls have come to Standish Gymnasium at Ledyard High School to take on the Colonels. And right now, they're giving them everything they've got, a 56-46 advantage as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill with some help from Dave Edgecombe on the sidelines as well. Well, it's been as entertaining a game as we had expected to see, but the Colonels just have not found a way to solve what the Owls are doing.
Yeah, you know, they made that run. The momentum clearly shifted, but we're right back where we started from again. Some foul trouble mounting for Ledyard as well. Can they climb this 10-point mountain here in the fourth quarter?
The Owls will have it as we start the final quarter. Extended pressure here, and out of bounds. So they forced the turnover on the opening possession. Good start.
Kyrie Childs out of the game for Ledyard, and Benson remains in the game. Benson with 3 fouls, as well as Philip Thomas with 3 fouls, both in the game right now for the Colonels.
Here's River Thomas. Boy, they're trying to enter for Gray, but they've been unsuccessful on the entry pass at least 3 times here in the second half.
Yeah, big body right there is Freeman Johnson.
Let's go down to Dave Edgecombe. Dave?
Guys, I was following Kyrie before Coach took him out, and he was noticeably holding his hand in a lot of discomfort. The fingers are no longer taped. Let's see. That's why Coach Cornish took him out. He was still trying to force some plays. Mark.
All right, thanks, Dave. 7.5 to go in the game. Still a 10-point advantage as Jernigan slow to get up.
Foul number 1, River Thomas, his second.
And River Thomas having picked up his second foul. Thomas has 8 points in the game. It's about double his average.
Jernigan favoring the lower body right now, but tough kid. He is not coming out of this game one way or the other.
Trouble on the inbound. It was tipped. Jernigan there to rescue it. Oh, what a drive. Juwan Graddick, a spark off the bench today. He's got 15 points to lead the Owls.
Yeah, he can really score. Good elevation that time. Nice touch in the lane.
There's the floater from Bruton. Won't go. Johnson, with the Wes Unseld outlet pass after he rips the rebound. Graddick can't hit. There's a tip in, but they're going to wave it off. An over-the-back foul on Hartford Public.
Yeah, they're going to get Jernigan. I thought it was a really good no call that time. Thomas tried to step in and take the charge on Graddick. I thought that was a really good no call, but then Jernigan followed it up by getting over the back on the tip-in, and that was a good call. So nice job, the officials that time. First with the no call, and then with a call that you don't always see, a little over the back.
Here's River Thomas. Again, that Hartford Public 3-2 zone, which has worked, but picked apart beautifully as Benson found Phil Thomas.
Yeah, we've seen the Ledyard carve up the zone a few times. When they have people get to the post and then cut, they've done really well.
Well, Ledyard forces another turnover. Most of these turnovers, Casey, seem to be coming on passes and deflections. Hasn't been full-out trapping pressure, but that nuisance three-quarter, it's making a difference.
Yeah, forcing the ball cross-court in the air. And we see Childs back in the game.
There's Bruton.
Got to get the ball to the post and have cutters. That's where you've had your success.
That post being manned by Phil Thomas. There he is, right on cue, Casey. Stripped away. It'll stay with the Colonels underneath.
You see, every time they get that pass into the post, right there at the foul line, Thomas flashes. We've seen Benson in that position flashing. You've got multiple choices. You've got cutters on both wings that you can look to do a bounce pass to, or as the case there with Thomas, you can take it to the basket.
Bruton from nearly out of bounds, but he can't get it to go. Kyrie Childs works the offensive glass. That's his first basket of the game, Casey.
Hustle points, lunch pail time. Not a good foul on Thomas. With a push.
Ledyard foul on number 1, River Thomas, his third.
Well, that's 3 on River Thomas. Twin brother Phil, 3 as well, as does Dominic Benson. Now they're pushing the pressure up a little further, man-to-man.
Interestingly enough, in the first quarter, all of the points came from Darnay Gray in the first half. Ledyard got back into it with Gray on the bench, and on the bench again, he is now.
Jernigan draws 2 defenders, knocks one over. Braddock the floater. Benson tips the rebound to himself, has his pocket picked by Shaquem James, and the foul on Kyrie Childs. And that will put the bonus to the Owls.
Ugly, ugly turn of events that time for Ledyard. Had multiple opportunities. Benson came away with a really good rebound that time, only to have it stripped from behind. And we have seen Shaquem James do that a couple of times today. That's a play that we see a lot of guards doing. You kind of wait for the guy to get out in front of you and then reach from behind.
James missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Braddock, oh, he's at it again. 17 off the bench for Jawan Braddock. And the lead for Hartford Public is back up to 10.
And you see Hartford Public taking a timeout again, keeping things organized, maintaining momentum at all times. You know, Darnay Gray has not scored a basket in this half after dominating the first half. But what's interesting is he dominated the first half, and Hartford Public had a big lead. In order for Ledyard to cut into the lead, they had to put Gray on the bench. They got him back into the game. Hartford Public extended the lead, and now he's got to be out of the game again for them to try to cut into it.
It's really a strange situation there. A man of incredible value and was producing greatly, but it's not adding up to a plus-minus scenario when you're on the floor. Ledyard in the first 6 minutes of the second half was able to play without any fouls at all, and since then, they've gotten themselves into the bonus.
So 7 fouls in that short period of time in 5 minutes. Wow. And they are mounting up now. Multiple players with 3, and Hartford Public will be shooting from here on out.
5:46, long time.
Yeah, it is.
Good situation to be in with a 10-point lead.
And Ledyard with only, and Hartford Public with only 3 fouls. A long way to go for Ledyard to get into that bonus. Gray remains on the bench for Ledyard.
This is Phil Thomas.
They come out man-to-man now, does Hartford Public. Always changing it up. They're out of that zone, back to the man-to-man.
Bruton can't hit the floater. Kyrie Childs battles and puts it back.
Absolute, just strong that time was Childs, injured hand and all.
And another turnover being forced, so a different kind of pressure we're seeing from Ledyard. We saw the three-quarter court kind of nuisance causing some problems. This time they're right up on him.
Both coaches just changing things up, trying to find something that works. We'll see how long Hartford Public stays man-to-man.
Well,
all right. Let me tell you what we just saw there.
Oof.
River Thomas inbounded off of the Hartford Public man because he had turned his back to the play, and then in his effort to get the ball, kicked it out of bounds.
Too clever by half, perhaps. There's the hit ahead. Michael White takes the contact and will get 2 free throws.
And that's going to be on Kyrie Childs. That's going to be his 4th.
So with 5:17 to go, decision time for Dave Cornish. He's already calling for Andrew Bird. We can only assume that's for Childs, who's just picked up his 4th. Shooter's roll for Michael White. He's got 9 points today.
It's actually for River Thomas. So the gamble of keeping Childs in the game with 4.
You know, at this point, really can't argue it, right? 9-point game, 5 minutes left. Got to do whatever you can, take some risks.
Big rebound by Shaquem James. Without Darnay Gray in the game, it is a different rebounding Ledyard team. They cannot afford those long rebounds. Troy McKelvin just summed it up. He said, they're hustling, you're not.
Inbound to Siobhan Grant. And a foul on the near side. That's on Ledyard's Andrew Bird. He's got 3 fouls, really mounting, and as we said, into the bonus. Not the double bonus yet, but it's coming on the next foul.
Ledyard's got a rebound more than anything else. They can't keep giving second chance opportunities.
Shaquem James now with 14 points after that first free throw, so he's already beyond his average of 13. And he's got them both, and he pushes the lead up to 11.
Hartford Public not letting Bruton get the basketball, denying him the ball.
Bird into the game. He's a fine shooter. That one won't go. Oh, they're going to get Deontay Bruton with the foul as he tied up Shaquem James. James was looking long for a teammate for a layup.
Yeah, Graddick had gotten ahead of the pack, and that time James had Graddick, so Bruton did the only thing he could do, which was commit the foul, but it puts Hartford Public into the double bonus, which means they're going to be shooting 2 shots, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. That's a long time to be shooting 2.
Now Darnay Gray up off the bench for Ledyard. He's coming in, replacing Dom Benson. And Gray fouled on the rebound by Michael White. That's the 4th team foul only.
You see the difference when Gray's in the ballgame. You know, he gets to every rebound, and he's impossible to move off the basketball. They're going to need him down 12 for those rebounds, but they're going to have to start making some shots. And Hartford Public's going to be shooting too. It's going to be an uphill climb.
Again, they can't enter it to Gray. Jernigan with the steal. Siobhan Grant. Kyrie Childs rips away the rebound. Somehow the Colonels kept the ball there as Childs didn't want the double dribble. And the foul on the way in. Bruton is hit.
We've seen Ledyard trying to get the ball into Darnay Gray. The way to go about doing it when Hartford Public is in the zone is they've got to hit whoever flashes to the foul line and let Thomas, who's flashing, get Gray on a cut. You're not going to force it into Gray when you've got all those hands in a 3-2 zone.
Yeah, that wing entry pass has not been there. They've tried it on this block, the near block, every single time. But, yeah, change the angle, high-low it. I like it.
That's why I'm up here.
We'll see if they do it. Bruton converts.
Man-to-man pressure now. Pressure's tough right now for Ledyard because they've got so many fouls.
Siobhan Grant to the corner. Graddick double teamed. Great trap. And Kurt Reese uses a timeout. Got his player out of trouble.
Always on top of things. Coach Reese has been very, very good at not letting the momentum ever get too far swinging into the Ledyard direction. That time he saw his player in trouble with a trap and quick timeout. So 4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. You're down 10. Your opponent's in the double bonus. You gotta find a way not only to score, but you gotta find a way to make stops and probably get some turnovers at this point. And what's really concerning for Coach Cornish and Ledyard is that chaos they like to create defensively has been muted by the fact that they've got so many personal fouls already.
Personal fouls, putting their guys in foul trouble, putting the team in the double bonus. It's all stacked up right now against the Colonels. We'll see what they can come up with. Well, last year the situation was completely different in the fourth quarter. Here, when Hartford Public trailed by 13 points, is were able to come all the way back and steal a win against Ledyard. Can they return the favor? We'll have to see. I want to remind everybody that our next broadcast of basketball, Game Day Live on theday.com, will be February 28th. It'll be the ECC Girls Final. So we look forward to bringing that to you.
Norwich Free Academy and Ledyard tied for the ECC title.
Jernigan again seeing an open man. It was a very long pass. Braddock probably should have come up with that.
Who will it be in that ECC Girls Final? Will it be Ledyard, NFA, New London, Waterford, East Lyme? Who knows? But join us, whoever it is, we'll have them.
3:45 to go. Bird. And it's going to stay with the Colonels. Broken up by Braddock. See if they can get the ball to Gray.
Got to get the ball into the post here somehow.
Bruton missed badly, but Phil Thomas is there. And he hits.
Phil Thomas with the basket.
Good hoop. The foul will go against
Foul
Shaquem James.
Shaquem James, his third.
Big foul shot here. Can cut it to 7. Then you get a stop and you whittle it away. Could we get into a situation in reverse like last year?
And Phil Thomas completes the three-point play. Gives him 11 in the game. It's a 7-point lead for Hartford Public. 3:30 to go.
Ledyard pressure. A lot of guys with a lot of fouls on the floor right now for the Colonels.
Jernigan always picks out the right man. White gets it back to Jernigan. Grant double teamed. Right back to Jernigan. And a foul. Darnay Gray and Phil Thomas
Darnay Gray, his second.
had the player trapped, but Gray picks up his second
James,
foul.
The line shooting 2.
Now there's where that double bonus comes into play because he gets 2 foul shots. And big foul shots now because Hartford Public has this game exactly where they want it. It's all about them making foul shots.
And where the double bonus is so much more important as well, that ball would be live if it was the single bonus. Instead, 2 free throws guaranteed.
Got to rebound this basketball if you're Ledyard.
So 1 of 2, lead back to 8. Bruton draws the blocking foul. It's going to go against Shaquem James.
Shaquem James, his
That's the
fourth.
7th team foul. So 1 and 1 now. Bonus situation for Ledyard.
Very, very big foul shots right here for Bruton.
Bruton to the line shooting 1
River
and 1.
Thomas comes back in for
River
Darnay
Thomas
Gray.
in the game for the Colonels.
Dave Cornish looking to press off whatever happens here. And a rebound cleared away by Michael White.
Big miss that time by Bruton.
Ledyard still up the floor pressing. Got to get it over. Tipped by Philip Thomas. Oh, and it went out off of Ledyard's Philip Thomas. It was right in front of us. Looked like the right call.
A lot of bodies moving really fast. That's really hard for anyone to see where that ball goes off of.
That's tough for Ledyard because clearly the pressure was working. The Owls were in trouble on that possession. Shaquem James with Andrew Bird hounding him. Siobhan Grant double team. Jernigan. And the foul will go against Phil Thomas. That'll be 4 on him.
Ledyard foul number 11, Phil Thomas, his
Bill
fourth.
Bono got him for extending that right knee.
Richard
Try to hold
Jernigan
that trap.
to the line shooting 2.
So this will put Jernigan at the line. 2:45 to go.
Oh!
How did that one go out?
All around, in and out.
Darnay Gray and Dom Benson are back in for Bird and River Thomas. Nearly the identical shot, but this time it goes. 9-point lead for the visiting Owls.
In that zone again. That's a good look.
Philip Thomas draws the foul. It's like they'll point to Jernigan. It could have been Michael White as well, but Jernigan will pick up the foul. Third on him.
Foul number 1, Richard Jernigan.
Every time Ledyard has gone and found Philip Thomas flashing up at the foul line, they've had success. Either him getting to the basket or distributing. But they just have not had enough success getting him the basketball in that spot.
Andrew Bird into the game for the Colonels.
Scott Whipple has entered the game for Ledyard. His first action of the game. Ben Gill coming back in as well.
Into the game for the Colonels, number 24, Ben Gill.
Well, Kurt Reese having an issue with the substitution. Whipple was in and out, but was he in for a play? There. Kurt Reese isn't going to win this one. But, you know, he doesn't need to.
So it's Thomas, Bird, Childs, Bruton, and Gill right now for Ledyard.
I think Kurt Reese's argument was Whipple would need to stay in for a play before being substituted again.
I think right now Ledyard's got these guys in the game because he needs some fouls.
A travel on Shaquem James.
And now here come the offensive players. That's exactly what Coach Dave Cornish is doing right now. He can't afford to have Benson or Thomas get another foul, so he's putting in guys who have some fouls to give when they're on the defensive end, and they're going to take fouls. Offensively, his players are in.
7-point game, 2:15 to go. There they are. They enter to the high post. Phil Thomas. More good things happening when they get it to the high post.
I mean, it's a little late for them to recognize it, but they're seeing it now. Oh, that's an unfortunate one because they couldn't get them out of the game, and that foul's going to go on Thomas, and that's going to be 5.
Ledyard foul number 11, Phil Thomas.
That hurts. He's been a key for them offensively as that they're going to have to put Benson in that position now to flash to the post.
So Phil Thomas, who's been such a big part of the good things that are happening for Ledyard today and all season long, fouls out with 15 points.
In the game for the Colonels, number 1, River Thomas.
Replaced by his brother.
And 2 minutes to go. Completely different players, to be sure.
Big foul shots here by Grant. Nice stroke on the first one.
The 1:59 to go. A 6-point Hartford Public lead. Can't get the second. Big board from Darnay Gray. The door still open for Ledyard. Bruton has it, sent back by Jernigan. Now Michael White the other way. And he is fouled by Kyrie Childs, and that could be it for him.
They're going to get, they're going to get Childs, and that is 5 on him. Great job defensively. Bruton tried to go to that floater in the lane again. Hartford Public was ready for it. Big block, and then even more importantly, right out into transition.
Into the game for the Colonels, number 10, Andrew Bird. Michael White to the line, shooting 2 for the Owls.
Tenth point of the game for Michael White. One more free throw to try and push it to 8.
Nice touch. Hartford Public has done a nice job at the foul line.
They get it into Gray, finally on the low post. Still after it. Oh, and they're going to give it to Hartford Public. Gray working hard, but it was tipped away twice.
In the game for the Colonels, number 24, Ben Gill.
And now they're going to put somebody in to get some fouls.
Jernigan to inbound. Nobody on the ball. Now what a great weapon, a great inbounds passer who can also be a press breaker in Jernigan. Good trap in the corner, and he's traveled.
Violation on the Owls. Darnay Gray into the game for the Colonels.
Gray is back as Ben Gill comes out. 1:24 to go. Ledyard down 8. River Thomas, Deontay Bruton. They needed that 3. Rebound Graddick. Jernigan up ahead for Green, who lays it in with 1:05 to go.
And that might be the one right there. That might be the nail.
Shaquem James, that is, who made that last hoop. Darnay Gray challenging inside, blocking foul. He said on the floor, the ball went in, but they're not going to count it. Well, let's see. We might have two differing. So they will call a basket good. I'm not sure Tony Nacito realized the ball went through the hoop because it went through in such an unorthodox manner. But Greg Keith conferencing with him. So a 3-point opportunity. Kurt Reese, meanwhile, wanted an offensive foul there.
I can understand.
Case could be made.
Yeah, you certainly could be. Gray with that big body just knocked Jernigan to the floor. I mean, Darnay Gray, that's his first points of the second half for Darnay Gray. They're saying the basket's good, so that foul shot should be good. Inbounds for
it is.
And Ledyard needs to get somebody off the floor here, and they'll take Gray off the floor.
So the 3-point play for Gray, 55 seconds to go in the game. His first points of the second half after having 16 in a dominating first half performance. Michael White knocked away by Bruton. Here comes Dom Benson, still time, down 7. Takes it to the hole. And taken away by Graddick.
It's a big miss right there.
And Benson gives up the foul.
Multiple opportunities for Ledyard, just unable to convert, and that's really going to be the story for them at the end of this ball game. They did have some opportunities, cutting it to 7, cutting it to 5, but just couldn't convert, and so it's going to be a matter of foul shots here. Hartford Public, Grant at the line, looked good last time making 2.
So much of that failure to convert in transition, something that they do routinely, night in and night out, against almost all opponents all season long. just that extra level of quickness and ability to match that maybe by Hartford Public. It's making it that much tougher for Ledyard to get those easy buckets that they're used to.
One more for Grant. Good foul shooter for the Owls.
River Thomas will save as many ticks of the clock as he can. Now picks it up. Drives into the lane, taken away by Grant. Grant, Shaquem James. Now they don't need the layup, they'll pull it out. Using clock. Ahead of the trap with a 9-point lead. And there the foul give. Oh no, before the foul, a travel
Violation on the Owls.
on Siobhan Grant, so 15 seconds to go, but a 9-point lead for the Owls.
Nice job by Coach Reese and the Hartford Public Owls. You travel in from Hartford, snowy day, game moved up from 7 all the way down to 1:30, playing a 14-2 Ledyard team who's been playing very, very well. You're playing them in their own gym. And you did absolutely everything that you wanted to do. What was their keys? Contain Darnay Gray. Well, they didn't contain him early, but looking at the totality of the game, they absolutely did. Beat Ledyard at its own game. They did. They controlled the tempo. Those guards were able to do anything they wanted to do and rebound. And they have done an excellent job of rebounding. Outside of Darnay Gray, Ledyard has really struggled with rebounding. You look at the flip side of it. Ledyard's keys to the game, they needed to handle Hartford Public's pressure, but they haven't gotten easy points. Hartford Public has denied them those easy baskets. They needed to get it to Gray inside, and they really weren't able to do that. Gray has scored a lot of points today on rebounds, but they really struggled, did Ledyard, getting him the ball inside. Now, they did manage to keep Gray out of foul trouble, but they did not keep themselves out of foul trouble. So, looking back to the keys of the game, Hartford Public really was able to do the things that they wanted to do. Ledyard was unable to, and Hartford Public came in here, and again, as a double L school, Ledyard is learning that the waters in double L are a bit more treacherous than perhaps they were accustomed to.
Yeah, just for comparison, Hartford Public 7-3 in the CCC East, which puts them only in 3rd place in that very tough division of the CCC Conference. Bloomfield and E.O. Smith are both 10-1 in the ECC, so Hartford Public obviously an excellent team. But a good look perhaps of what's waiting in the Double L State Tournament for Ledyard. River Thomas, pull up 3. Graddick, the rebound, and they're gonna get a jump ball. Graddick figured it would be an automatic that they'd call a foul and he'd get 2 free throws. Instead, a tie-up, and it's Ledyard ball. Chance to cut it closer, but only 6.6 are left. And stolen away. Siobhan Grant with 4 seconds left is going to go for it. Oh, blocked up top by River Thomas, but a foul call.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I thought going in that Grant was going to look to go in and dunk this thing and sort of give a final exclamation point. But instead, Thomas came over and out of absolutely nowhere, I thought, got all ball. And the officials are talking about it right now. I think River Thomas surprised everybody. I don't think they thought he could get up that high and block that, and he did.
And Grant's first free throw is good.
Reed and Kavani Welsh into the game for the Owls.
9 points for Siobhan Grant. He looks to get to double digits here with 1.5 seconds left. And he'll finish with 10. And Deontay Bruton will fire from deep, and that's going to do it. A 75-64 victory for the Owls of Hartford Public. They come to Ledyard today on the day of a blizzard, and they take care of business and get a very tough and important road victory over the Ledyard Colonels.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Hartford Public, not only because of the way they played, but the way the game was managed. Never letting Ledyard really get any footing, never letting them get any momentum. A great job of changing up defenses, a great job of really setting the pace.
So an 11-point victory as Hartford Public goes to 11-4 on the season. And an impressive performance and a great job taking care of business in this one. We're going to talk to some of the winners down on the court as Dave Edgecombe is down on the sideline with Kurt Reese along with Juwan Craddock. Dave, take it away.
Thanks, Mark. I'll start with you, Juwan. Coming in, you knew that their guards were athletic. You guys were athletic. Coach stuck up for you and said, tit for tat, you guys are a wash, if anything. I thought you outplayed them a little bit. What was the difference in the game, you thought?
We just played hard defense and didn't give up.
You got them in early foul trouble, too. How much of a factor do you think that was?
We shouldn't have that many fouls, but it is what it is. We had them, but we still won the game.
And then closing it out, it wasn't easy, but you guys held on. What's a win like this mean going down the stretch of the season?
It felt good. Just hope we can win the rest of our games, all of them.
Thanks, Juwan. Now we'll talk to your coach for a second. Coach, coming in, like I said, you knew exactly what they were going to do. You were welcomed in the track meet, but you got them in early foul trouble. Were you trying to take advantage of a little bit of them being a little too over anxious?
Yeah, well, I think their pressure was we got a lot of layups versus their pressure, so that's part of their game, getting guys going. They usually score in the 90s, which they didn't tonight because we controlled the ball for a good portion of the game. So, they didn't have a lot of easy points like usual games.
And they in the third, they had a run, cut it to 4, but your guard play was outstanding, most notably Richard Jernigan. What's his play mean to this team if you're going to make a serious run come tournament time?
He's the engine. He gives guys layups, easy buckets. If he's not playing, it's a totally different game.
Thanks, Coach. Get home safe. Go win. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Dave. And quality victory led by Jakeem James and Juwan Craddock. 19 points for James, 17 for Craddock. We're going to take a break here on Game Day Live on theday.com and wrap things up from Ledyard in a moment.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that the one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed. But at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
And welcome back to Game Day Live on theday.com. An impressive performance on the road for Hartford Public. They defeat Ledyard today by double digits. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill. And we're really looking forward to our next broadcast as well. We should tell folks about that. February 28th, it's the ECC Girls Final. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect there.
Well, earlier this year, we watched at NFA. We brought to you the NFA and Ledyard girls. And on that night, we saw Sabria Outlaw lead, as a sophomore, lead those NFA Wildcats to a big victory at home. But this past week, these Ledyard Colonel girls defeated NFA here at Ledyard, thus sharing a portion of the ECC regular season. And then last night, NFA went and beat New London High School, the Whaler girls, who at that point had only lost twice on the season. So the stage is set heading into the ECC girls tournament. Both Ledyard and NFA are the teams to beat, but you've got New London, and you've got Waterford, and you've got East Lyme, and Montville, all teams who would like to see themselves make a run as well and take on the class of the ECC.
And as far as what happened here today, as Hartford Public getting the victory, still unbeaten in conference for Ledyard, but clearly this was a test, and a test that shows that they've got more work to do if they have their sights set down the road in the Double L state tournament.
Yeah, they've played 4 Double L teams. They have lost 3 of them. Their lone victory in conference was against Norwich Free Academy this past week, and it was not an easy victory. What it is showing, and I'm sure Coach Dave Cornish and Troy McKelvin will be impressing this upon their team, there is no margin for error in the Double L division the way there might be in your regular season conference. You cannot go out and play a B game against Double L competition. You won't win.
And that didn't happen today. The final score, 75-64. Hartford Public gets the victory over Ledyard at Ledyard High School. That's going to do it for today's Game Day Live on the Day.com coverage. It's been a lot of fun bringing it to you. Everybody, stay warm and stay out of all that snow that I'm sure is falling outside of the gym right now. For Casey O'Neill, Dave Edgecombe, and our entire crew, I'm Mark Brown. So long until next time. We'll be right back at you on February 28th with the ECC Girls Basketball Final.